What's good, guys? Welcome back to the channel. I just got back from our sneak peek locals. It was not at the normal locals I go to because sadly they didn't order the set. Or the way I was explained to it is they had it ordered, they didn't sign up to be a sneak peek. So that was really sad. So we had to go up about an hour away to another locals. Basically my entire locals group came with us. We all drove separately because we hate the environment, I guess. But we all went up there. We had a great time. But it was just the worst experience I've ever had at a sneak peek ever. I was trying to get all the Mimighoul cards. Put it in perspective, it was only me and one other guy trying to get the cards to play that day. It was just horrible. These supers, I swear, they're not, they gotta be short printed or something. They limited it to 5 packs for your entry, and then you're not allowed to buy any more of the set until after the event's over, which I think was just a very dumb way of doing it. You're gonna make so much more money if you allow everybody to buy as much as they want to try and get the cards to use the deck they want to play on that day. But yeah, it was only 5 packs. So it was around like 23 to 25 people that showed up at this locals. Out of that, I did not see a single fairy pulled. Neither of us had fairies, me and the other guy. I saw 2 slime pulled. I got one, and then my buddy pulled the other, and I said, give it to this guy. That way we both have one, and we can both do well with the deck. 2 thrones were pulled. Me and him. Again, we just split it. But to be fair, you don't need... I only play 1 throne, so I wasn't trying to get the second one at pre-sale price. And then 1 giant Mimighoul was pulled, but neither of us got that. Some other guy that was just trying to pick up the deck for later, he bought it. So neither of us had giant, no fairies, and one apiece of the slime. So I just brought my old version of the deck, and I was like, I need to play with the new cards. Like I can't just play my old version of the deck and just throw throne in. So my other buddy pulled one of the charm. I was like, sure, I'll play the charm. So I stuck that on my main deck. I was like, the deck needs a lot more extenders. So I ended up playing three copies of armor, which you don't want to do. The card's not nearly good enough to be a 3 of. It's a 1 of, and it's maybe a 1 of at that. Like you just need an extender of some kind. So I put 3 of that in, and I was playing Fork, and I just don't like Fork at all. It's such a weird card, and I'm playing Shifter anyways, so it just doesn't do anything under Shifter, because if your opponent chooses to send the monster to grave, it's an and if you do effect. So if they send it to grave, it doesn't go to grave, so you don't get a draw to it. It's just a removal. That's it. So it was just a weird concept of that. So what my idea was, I was like, I'm gonna play it, and they're not gonna want me to draw 2, and they're gonna flip it. Nobody did that. The whole game plan was based on people being bad, and it just didn't work out. But let's look at it. I'll build the deck, the list that I used. So it was just the worst thing I've ever played in my life. So main deck, get rid of all the good cards, all the good new cards. Hand traps are basically the same. I didn't play Veiler because it was a Shifter build. I would have played Vernicells, but I own them, but they're in the mail. So yeah, they're coming. Let's see here. Kashtira. It was 3 Unicorn, 2 Fenrir, not 3. Thank you, Dueling Book. 1 Birth. The field spell should have been there, but I have no idea where that card does not exist. Evidently, I know I own one, but it didn't want to be for me. So if I stopped here, cool, 40 card list. But I was like, nah, I want to play all these cards. Yeah, forget the new cards aren't in here yet. I wish they would put it in as beta so I could play in advanced unrated with everybody else who's trying to test. Because if you Because right now you just have to do it in custom cards. And if you see anybody post in custom cards for rota testing, you just know for a fact they're on Mimighoul. And the mirror is just horrible. Like, I do not want to do the mirror unless it was somebody that I'm like chill with. Like the guy I was playing with yesterday. Like, cool, we both know what the deck does. Oh, my custom cards. No, all custom cards, please. Yeah, it was just a horrible experience. Like, how does this card just not exist at all? Like, I was seeing multiples of the Shark Ultras getting pulled. I was like, bro, I could have built a full Shark deck just from the cards pulled today. And those are all higher rarity. Well, not all higher rarity. There's like a few Ultras. I don't think they even have a secret. I was like, how are they pulling more of these Ultras than I am seeing of these Supers? Like, it just doesn't make sense to me. Yeah, so 3 armor, horrible choice. 1 charm, I played 2 fort, and there was something else in this list, because I was at 46. I was playing a 3rd nib. So let's throw that in there. That way you can get a full comprehension of how bad this list was that I was playing with. It was just, it was such an amalgamation. And yeah, no giants, 1 throne. Wasn't playing any of these. It was just some weird stuff in the side. Like, there was a Typhon, which actually is a good card. Not so weird. But Typhon, Griffin, access code, 2 more cards. I got my list right here. I'll pull them out just for y'all. SP I got in there. Underworld, Typhon, said I was playing a Moon. I couldn't think of another good card to put in. So originally I was like, all right, these cards are coming out. These 3 cards are coming out for all the good cards for Mimighouls. So I was playing a Moon. I was like, maybe I can get a 2-for on Underworld Goddess. I was playing Griffin, just because the Griffin lock was a decent play. Charmer, Dark Charmer was in there still. And everything else I think is the same. Yeah. Oh, and I was playing a Magnum. So this is actually worse. Oh, this is way worse. Oh my gosh, I'm just realizing. Because I was on 2 Master too. So Master, Magnum. It was just it was an amalgamation. Magnum, there you are. Yeah, so I was playing a 48 card main deck, playing Shifter. Like, there's no odds I'm ever gonna see the Shifter. But it was like 30 minutes before the locals would start. So I was like, whatever, I'm just gonna roll with it. I don't have all the cards, I'm not expecting to do well. But good lord, did Shifter love me today. I went 5 games in a row, opening this bad boy. One dude, it was all 3 games with him. Open Shifter turn 1. He sets up, he was Yugioh. He sets up the Soul of Rage, and it was his 5th summons, and I had Nib, and I was like, alright, Nib. He was like, alright, we're just going next, we're going next. He didn't know what I was on at that point. Game 2, I opened Shifter and the one of Maul Charmy Perulia that I own. So that was cool, he passed right away. I didn't have any engine, sadly, I couldn't capitalize. Yeah, and then game 3, I opened Shifter. He just set 1 past, and then I just full extended because I had it all. Went for battle, and he went, "All right, Spirit of Yubel, summon." And I was like, "Okay, cool." End of main, end of battle phase. He went, "Super Poly, entire board gone." First off, who plays? I don't know if you played Yubel, but there's like no space in that extra deck. Like, I don't know how he was putting in the Super Poly Yubel in there. It was a wild experience. Like, who plays it? I would not play around that. I play Yubel. That has never once crossed my mind. But yeah. So I brought Mimighoul and I brought Yubel. I was like, I could just play Yubel. I don't have all the cards. I was like, no, I gotta switch over like all my hand traps back over to Yubel then. And I basically just brought it because I was trying to sell it all. because I'm just going to stick with Mimighoul for this entire format. Nothing else seems interesting to me. I mean, stuff seems interesting, but I'm not willing to pay for a whole nother deck. I already have this pretty much built, and this is like one of the most fun styles of play I've seen in a while. Yeah, so I'm going to stick with this. So I just sold all my Yugioh stuff. I bought a box of a bridge. Worst box I've ever had in my life. I pulled a the Fire King secret, and originally I was like, oh sweet, that's like $60. But today all the prices fell because more people got the cards to be able to put them up. So it was 60, now it's like $20. So I was like, oh, that sucks. And then my other secret was the Mermail secret. That's basically non-existent price-wise. I was like, oh, okay. I only sold $25 worth of stuff out of it. So neg $95 because it was like 110. It was actually 114 about. So I I negged like $100. It was so bad. Yeah, I'm just on a yap fest. I'm just gonna put on some. No, I did not want to say this. I'm just gonna put some replays on in the background. This is basically just a locals experience. I guess we can watch this one. I don't usually post the losses, so this will be something good for everyone to see. But yeah, it was just so crazy. Like, don't get me wrong. Like, it's cool that you're able to play with the cards, but not being able to use them all, it's like, I just wanted to be. I was about to just like, if I had the option, I probably would have just started buying boxes. Like, there's no way I'm not gonna pull this super. But you couldn't do it. At the end, they let you buy however much you wanted. So as a group, we probably bought like 10 or 12. There's probably like a whole case we went through. And once again, I saw by the end of it, that was not a very good replay. By the end of it, I saw one fairy pulled out of the entire case that we opened. I was just like, how is this possible? Like, this has to be like short print. It doesn't make any sense. And I think I only saw one more slime pulled. So a playset of slime basically was pulled, the entire case, and a single fairy. And I think I saw two giants pulled by the end of it. It was just like, wow. You can tell me in the comments if your locals was a similar experience. Like, it was not possible for me to get this deck built. So I just played this jank list. Round 1 was against Tenpai. I was like, okay, this is fine. This deck has the easiest matchup against Tenpai to ever exist. Yeah, it was. Even without the cards, it's so hard for them to come through what you put up. The field spell lock with the trap is just too much. If they have like a board wipe, not a board wipe, a back row wipe, then it becomes difficult, but they gotta see it. And they're playing way more monster board wipes than anything else. Like, this guy was on a bunch of Raigekis, Dark Holes, stuff like that. So my back row was fine. Easy to deal with. There was no problem for me. Round 1 was easy. I won the die roll, so I didn't know he was on Tenpai yet. Put up the throne field spell, and I opened the trap already. So I basically got to full setup without having to search for anything, which is good. Because it's going to become a theme throughout the day that I open my hand. I'm like, oh, this is full combo. But it's not full combo because I don't own a giant. I don't have fairies. So I'm missing an extender, which came up a lot. Like the Yugioh game. We got to our game 3, and I basically ran him out of everything. He had no more phantoms left, because I unicorned one, and he already went through the other one that I knew he had. So it was just, it ended up with a board of just no cards in hand, Nightmare Pain on field, OG Yugioh, plus the Angel statue. And I was like, okay, I have 4 bodies on my field. I can get rid of the Yugioh by going into Underworld Goddess. but then I lose to the whatchamacallit, the angel statue. Because if I get rid of the angel statue, I have no way of getting rid of the Yugioh without having to attack into it. And then I would just lose right there from the 6k damage I would take. I was like, in my original plan, I was like, alright, I'm going to get the 5th body that I need by searching the fairy off of the master that I summoned off the slime. And I was looking through my deck, I was like, oh, yeah, I don't have it. And I already used my armor, so I have no more extenders. I'm like, okay, well, I gotta put them on no cards, otherwise I'm just gonna lose, and then it's just gonna be a top deck war, getting top decked out of it. I was like, if I could have done it this way, then I still would have had the master on field. I would have been in a much better position to not be able to just get beat over by the Yama he ended up just going for. So I would have been able to survive. And I had Nib in hand, so that would have made it so he had to extend through more monsters to be able to put up the lethal amount of damage. So it was just like small things like that. I was like, gosh, if I had this, I could just be able to play better. I'd be able to play through these boards. My end boards just weren't it. I could only get one search with the dragon for the spells and traps, so it just ended up being like so suboptimal. I'm just gonna put up the hero gameplay because these are just really good duels. Yeah, it was just so bad. I guess I can just go through the whole lineup. Tempai round, quick 2-0. Round 2, I got put up against Fluenderies. Same thing, put him under the summon lock. It was very, very much so I needed to draw better than what I would normally have to do because I only have the one search. So I needed to either see the field spell or I need to see the trap so I can get the lock up. So luckily for that round, I was able to do it. And he ended up just like anger scooping during round game 2, so it was another 2-0. I didn't have lethal on board, and he had a lot of engine left, and he was just like, I'm done. The game is just kind of hard for them to play through, so he's probably just getting annoyed. Round 3, I faced against the Yugioh player, went to game 3, and I just lost because I didn't have the extender at that point. Round 4, I faced against Unchained. I'm not gonna lie, I did not open good at all. Game 1 was just 2 Fenrir, and what was it? Armor, and I think 2 hand traps. So it was just not a good hand. He just OTK'd me through that. And then game 2, I put up Shifter, and then just set up a suboptimal board. And I was just chit-chatting with him so much that first I forgot to set the Archfiend that I added to hand onto his field to force him to do something before playing. And then I forgot to activate the Unicorn when I triggered the slime on his side to start ripping away his extra deck. And then, what else was it? I don't remember. It was just a horrible game. I was forgetting everything. Like, I was just in mid-conversation, and I was just like, autopilot. Not thinking about anything, and I would think about it later, and I was like, oh, shoot. I would have taken away both your Yamas at this point, and you would have just been stuck with Fiendsmith combo, which I could have just book-a-mooned. So, misplay a lot. Round 5. What was my round 5? Honestly, no idea. It has been out the... Oh, there was another flu. Yeah, the deck has a really good matchup against it. What it doesn't have a good matchup against is my opponent getting the Harpy's Featherstorm every single turn. Like, not even joking, every single turn. He thrusted for a game 1, set it. Like, what do you do against that? Funnily enough, the first flu guy during round 2, he actually Featherstormed me, but I had drawn Molchamri for my turn. I knew he had the trap, and I had evenly matched, and I was like, okay. So, draw phase, he shotgunned the Harpy's Featherstorm, so I chained them all to Charmy, went battle phase, got rid of everything, and he just kept the trap. And what he wanted to do was set up the dark some more, so I couldn't set anything anymore. So instead of just waiting for his turn, he decided to just go all out and gave me like a draw 5 to set that up. And I drew into Thrust plus Talents. I was like, cool. Thrust, add field spell, add Terraforming to add field spell. Activate Talents, take your some more. Normal summon, what was it? I think it was the armor at that point. I just linked them both away. And I had Trap. Alrighty. So I just set Trap, field spell, pass. I was like, cool, you gave me a draw 5. So that's fun. Yeah. But yeah, like I was saying, this is mostly just a yap fest. So I'm going to wrap it up here. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you liked it, if you just liked the talking, leave a like. Comment about your locals experience, because I'd be curious to know if it was just like a clumping issue, and it was just like that case, or if it's like widespread. Because like I feel like these cards are just short printed. It's like this should not be normal. Just to like so many supers I was seeing in multiples, like that stupid little reptile with 2 heads. I pulled like 3 or 4 of that, and the rescue hamster, I pulled 2 of that. I just saw the same cards over and over. It was bad. But yeah, so leave a comment about your locals experience. Let me know if you played the deck, how you did, and if you could actually find all the cards to be able to play the deck optimally. I'd be curious to know that too. And subscribe if you really do like it. But yeah, no more yapping. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you have a great day. Peace out.